Welcome back to another day, y'all, and with that, another video. I know I missed giving you guys another video on Friday. My apologies. A lot of things were going on in the background. I got a lot of stuff planned for y'all, and it pertains to this. Now, yes, as you all know, or if you haven't known, I have a Kickstarter out for my first comic, Nightfall Eldritch Chapter 1. As y'all can see, as of this current moment, it's $429 out of 2,400, 17 backers. I'm very blessed to have that. So by the time when I upload this video on Monday, what would be like 36 days to go. So please and thank you for those who are considering to support or haven't supported or have already supported. So my heart goes out to y'all. Just about this campaign and everything. Just want to let you know that it is a mature dark fantasy focusing on two characters, the Prodder and Damonite, which they have been waging an unholy rivalry for centuries on end. And things change when a decisive battle is made. And that gets covered within the first 9 pages of this comic manga. Now, I call it comic manga because it's in the format of a comic, of American comic, I should say. But the manga like artwork is within there, so we're not doing like read from right to left, but left to right. It's just again the style of the artwork, and of course the artist is Nefarious Watcher. That's my dude. Big shout out to him. I noticed that some parts of the campaign aren't showing, like for example the interior sample pages for some people, which is odd. I contacted Kickstarter about it, but on my end I can see everything, especially even logged out right now as I am, so I don't know what's going on with that. I'm gonna get down to the bottom with all that stuff happening. Characters, got the Prodder right here, Damon Knight, and the artist for these two artworks is Clue Wolf, so big shout out to her. Gehenna by Carmen Seth, Zen Zakia, or Zen for short, again Carmen, and then this is the Beastly Shepherd, which is by Nefarious Watcher. Now I got covers, for example, Kickstarter exclusive cover by Neff right here. Got that standard edition by Neff. And of course, there's the lewd version of it. Got the Beastly Shepherd edition by Carmen's FX. And of course, it's lewd edition. And then the prototype by Nev. And it's NSFW version of it as well. Now, the stretch goals, I'm very, very cool to know that, we have hit 2 stretch goals. That's a stretch. Anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about with that part, but for the stretch goals, we're already past $300, so you get both the bookmark and a trading card included with physical purchases. Now, if we get to 800, which I'm certain we will, you get a single print included with that physical purchase as well. So this is all, this is just this is the cool part about this crowdfunding stuff. So I don't mind doing this for y'all at all. I'm very blessed and honored to have this going. And the influences are Berserk, Evil Dead, and Bloodborne. So if you guys like that, you already know what you're in for. And over here we got the tiers. You got the digital tier for $5. Got the standard edition, $20. Beastly edition, $20. Prototype edition, $20. And then the Rivals edition, which is exclusive for only Kickstarter, and that's it. It's going to be $28. Now, when you get into the 18 plus editions, they're all $30. Now, when we get to the bundles, they're going to be $40. So you got standard, Beastly, and prototype. And then with the Knights collection, it's going to be $140. And all of this, with the Knights collection, you get all the physical copies and the digital, of course, and it ships anywhere in the world. So hopefully when this campaign succeeds, my goal is to put the digital stuff out first within the same month when the campaign closes out. So therefore, just make things easier for me. Now I'm learning as I go, so I will do my best to keep updates for y'all. Which right here, I have updates right here saying, hello everyone, down over here. I've noticed that some images, what I just stated earlier about the images not showing up. So again, still looking into that. So yeah, that's it for my little advertisement. And thank you for sticking around for this and hearing me out on that. So, get into the main topic. Boy, where do I start this? Because I got a lot to unpack with this. I'm gonna try and do my best to uh, stay focused. And I will say that there may be a little bit of bias on my end because this is a topic that is near and dear to me, and it pertains to uh, the freedom of expression, or artistic expression, I should say, and how these companies and how these individuals and entities are just trying to really censor what we can show and not show, what people can purchase and not purchase. This is really just, I believe, in my opinion, that this is just infringing on people's rights. I think, don't get me wrong, stuff there are stuff out there that shouldn't be showed. I'm not, how can I word this? I'm not like completely like, oh, let's allow the, I can't even say it because I don't want to say it, to be honest, but let's allow this stuff involving animal and you could fill in the blank. Let's not have that, like, let's slow down with that. No, but what I'm talking about is just stuff that's really just standard to humans, as in uh nudity, basic nudity, with that, Adam, Eve, uh was it was it wasn't Micah the thinker? I know it's a thinker, but I can't remember who the art Renaissance man was who made that. But it's stuff like that. It's just people are just trying to do the whole moral high ground, and I'm just like, dude, it just be an adult. Just be an adult. It's not for you. Obviously, it's not for you, and just go about your day and you know be entertained by the stuff that you do like. Why does it bother so many people? Why does it bother so many people that it's out there and they try to restrain? The more, it's like you're doing a Streisand effect, basically, where it's like the more you try to push it down, more people are gonna get interested. It's like, hello, have we not learned that from the quote unquote Gamergate days and the wokeness stuff? Yeah, I'm just amazed, and not at the same time, with who these people are that are just actively trying to do. It's taking me back to like the GTA days. No, just it's taking me back to the 360 days. Heck, even the Xbox days, original Xbox days, where they're like, video games cause violence and this and that, and we're gonna not have this in here because it has blood and gore and whatever. So, without further ado, let's get into the actual article. Now, I do have more, but I promise you this is all going to be relevant within the topic. And this is sad right here. This is an article from Bounding into Comics. Visa Exec confirms payment processing services being halted for Japanese retailers selling adult content. It is necessary to disallow it to protect the brand. So, in providing direct confirmation of the company's turn towards the certainly puritanical, Visa Exec, I can't pronounce that name, has admitted that not only is the payment processor now choosing to deny their services to websites and business who host adult content, but they are doing so in order to protect the brand. Uh, as readers may recall, oh, please don't. How do I stop this? Jeez, I hate when they do this. As readers may recall, recent months have been seen an increasing number of Japanese retailers, particularly those whose offering include adult-oriented manga, anime, and doujinshi, uh, announcing that various payment processors had dropped them as clients due to their offering of said content, thus removing their respective ability to accept digital payments for their items. Such affected entities include the popular online doujinshi retailer Melon Books and iconic Tokyo-based book retailer Tora I butchered that, both of whom have lost the right to process payments from such credit companies as Visa and MasterCard, as well as the out-of-print manga archive Manga Library Z, whose loss of these services actually led to the entire site shuttering its doors, at least for the time being. Unsurprisingly, this move has proven unpopular with manga readers across the globe, many of whom have taken to social media to voice their frustrations against this pseudo censorship. And more than just fans, notable Japanese creators include Love Hina mangaka and Manga Library Z founder Ken Akamatsu and Nier franchise creator Yoko Taro have also spoken out against this growing corporate level prudishness, as they believe this trend presents a significant threat to the idea of freedom of expression. Unfortunately for those concerned, it seems Visa is not only unapologetic about their decision to stop working with adult content, but also intends to keep on keeping on with their current strategy. Per local technology news outlet Impress Watch, during a Q&A session held at the tail end of a recent press conference conducted by Visa's Japanese branch concerning their future plans, the aforementioned Kidney, who currently serves as the head of product for the company's Asia Pacific operations, was asked if he could provide any insight into the decision to stop providing payment services to sites that sold adult works. In turn, the Visa exec explained that while the company normally helps to facilitate transactions for any and all illegal goods, they chose to break away from sites stocking adult manga books because sometimes it is necessary to disallow it to protect the brand. The reality is that this is a complex decision involving both global and local policies, he added, and it is also important to maintain integrity. I think that's a typo, and we will continue to do so. Per Impress Watch's own recap of the press conference, the tone and inflection with which Kitney made this statement indicated that the series of decisions is not a temporary one. Further, Kitney did not provide any specific details as to which specific global and local policies were being used as the basis for Visa's anti-adult content stance. And that's it for that article there. But this is what I'm trying to say is that this is not a coincidence where we're seeing more and more of this stuff happening when like 10 years ago, if I'm correct, this wasn't even really being like wasn't really a big deal or to the deal that it is now. And so excuse me for a bit, y'all. And so with all of that happening, it's like one thing leads to another. And not only do you have a company, well, a payment processor trying to be high and mighty about stuff, even though we know very well that they have no problem funding certain type of things to, help with wars and all that. I digress. It just seems like this is so. It's not seem. It is absurd. It's outlandishly absurd just to say, "Oh, we need to protect the brand." Nobody, when we think of Visa and Mastercard, we just think of, "Oh, hey, look, that's a bank, that's money, right there. That's all we think about. We don't like do a whole, and at least normal people don't do a whole in-depth look of, oh man, that Visa card and that Visa and Mastercard, they actually support X-rated content and this and that. So no, dude, no normal individual thinks like that. But this is also a slap to the face now of not only people who deal with, well, make adult content, but it's also a slap to the face of people who are the customers of said banks, and they're being told that, hey, we know what's best for you, and we know that you don't need to be purchasing this because this has this, that, and whatever inside it with contained in this product, and we know what's better. We know what's best for you. You it's so infuriating, dude. How this is just a thing. But on to the next topic of this. I know I'm not the first to cover this. I'm sure won't be the last. But we're to have to talk about the whole Melonie Mac situation that's been going on. Now, I will do my best to navigate through this topic and trying to reserve my biases. But if one is gonna start using religion as a way to like use as a metaphorical sword and shield to combat people with, then I think it's only appropriate that I have to dig to a certain degree, not going low, not like doxing or anything, but having to go through evidence of what she has posted before. And I used to be a subscriber of hers. But I had this feeling about her, and I unsubscribed a few years back, and I feel validated for that because it just seems like, I don't know, man. It's the crazy. Can I just say it's just craziness? Can I say that? And that's not me trying to demean her, but it's a lot of hypocrisy in my opinion. So, as we all know, or we don't know, Melonie Mac has made a video a few days ago called Goonergate Addressed, and how I'll give you a summary of it. She's talking about people who like sexy characters and how characters are made just for pornographic needs and material, and that people who like that stuff are basically losers, and they need to see Jesus and read the Bible and all this and that. But I've written down my notes, which we'll get to soon, that there are some things that are hypocritical, especially when she has a life-size Lara Croft statue in the background, and she does try to like defend herself with that, when we all know that Lara Croft, yeah, even though she's a sexy character, she is basically a video game sex icon as well. We all know this. It's not. I don't know why they're again. Anyway, excuse the long post, but this is what she's saying. People have a hard time with what I've already said clearly, or they're purposely lying about me, probably the latter, but whatever, I'll bite. Regarding lust and entertainment and where my standards are, if something is created with the intent to elicit lust, that is perversion. I also cheap and disrespectful to the actual art. But anyway, again, that's art is subjective. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Who's to say that's just her opinion? But how the way she comes across is how like oh, this is this and that. There's no other way around it. But anyway, some people can lust over a pumpkin. So even So even beautiful art without lustful intent could still be used that way. In that case, that person needs to step away from it and seek deliverance until they can have the self-control to handle it. Or what about, uh, I'm sorry, y'all, this is a big word for me, reprobates who don't care about sin and unapologetically will do so. Okay, I can't stop you, nor do I want to. I beg to differ. But I also don't want to see you parade your perversion everywhere. If you're going to be a pervert, at least stay in the closet with it. God created beauty. Beauty is good. The world will take beauty and pervert it. Their perversion is not beauty. My main point with all of this is to promote beauty that hasn't been corrupted by perverted intent and to encourage self-control. Seek Jesus and you will be filled with the Holy Spirit who will guide you on a beautiful and pure path. And if you don't want to do that, okay. But people like myself are going to openly complain when we see perversion thrown in our faces. And we are in our right to do so. Perverts are ruining society. I could tell you who's ruining society. But anyway, many of us want to be able to watch a movie, listen to a song, or play a video game without being bombarded with sex. Then don't buy the games then or buy the products then. It's simple as that. There's a reason why we have ratings. Hey, it's M rated. M for mature. R rated. Heck, it might even have an A rating or an X. But anyway, the perverts don't the perverts don't represent the rest of us. And fighting back against woke perversion with a different kind of perversion makes no sense. People are still going to lie and argue this in bad faith. So go on ahead. I spoke out a conviction for Christ, and I have no regrets. I mean, that's good for her. That's good for her. And you know, there will be people who argue this in bad faith. But here's the thing, Melonie. With what you posted, with what you uploaded in that video and everything, it had I cannot speak. It left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths, man. Like you praising Stellar Blade months ago, heck, even defending it, and then all of a sudden you flip the script to in present day. Now, yes, I will say that she has stayed consistent with what she has said with when it comes to character designs, especially back in 2022. And give me a second, y'all. I'm remembering. And with what she was saying with the character designs, it could be flashy, it could be cool, you could even look pretty good and all that. But if it's not, made for pornographic intent or lustful intent, you would say, then it's fine, is all that. But here's my thing, though. Here's my thing. She has again a life-size statue of Lara Croft in the background, which we all know why. Which we all know what that character stands for. We also know that she's defended Stellar Blade, which I argue has a lot more revealing clothing than what Eve, the character from Stellar Blade, has a lot more revealing clothing than obviously Lara Croft and the other games that she's played with female characters in it. And we all know and seen what's in it. But the thing is with this is that this just feels like a whole big ploy for attention, and it's working because not only am I responding to this, but other people are responding to it. If this was her intent, she's played her card very well. But getting more into that as well, then we have another thing by Melonie. If it loads up, give me a second, y'all. All right. So with this, I share this, and again, just wanted to try to not be too biased, but I just want to give a lot of context about this. And here's what she says. Here's a clip from when I started my commentary channel near 3 years ago, saying that I'm not on either extreme, not woke and not gooner, and that I like that the characters don't look like strippers. People saying I betray my audience, you are drama grifting, complete bad faith. And I'm not saying betray or anything, but I had a feeling with Miss Mac that uh like there's something just more going on than, I don't know what it is, but this is it. There's a lot of flip flopping, in my opinion, with what she describes as, hey, what's okay and not okay. Hopefully, I didn't take. Hang on, y'all. Okay, cool.
Even though I don't have an issue with how the other characters looked previously, if they wanted to go for a more stylistic approach, kind of like what Street Fighter is doing here, and kind of venture away from that stripper look, they could have done that without completely defeminizing the female characters. And in my opinion, what Street Fighter has done here is given us a more mature style. And when I say mature style, I don't mean mature as in adult entertainment. I mean mature as in like, okay, we wanted to give these characters some style, and we wanted them to not look like they are in a corn parody, essentially. Now, I say that while I obviously don't have any issues with the old style and the old outfits and all that kind of stuff, but I will say, and this is a thing, I'm not on an extreme on either side. This stylistic approach, it's enough to where the characters still look hot, and they still are wearing very they're still wearing very fitted, very flattering outfits, but it's done in a very stylish way. That doesn't look like they just clocked out of their stripper job to go fight.
All right, and that's it for that one. But again, even with what she's saying here, I will acknowledge the consistency. But again, defending Stellar Blade, and she made a video talking about how Sony was censored it. Now I could pull that up as well. I got a lot of stuff to pull up, but I'm trying to keep it all concise and relevant to the topic. And as for some of y'all gave me pointers about how to make my point, connect my point to a bigger, a bit, I would say like coordinate my point within the topic better. And I'm doing my best here with with bullet points and notes in here. So I am making an attempt. So I definitely thank y'all for giving me that tip. It's just that it's my first time doing stuff like that. But ever since that video came out, it seems like there's been a lot more people just coming out of the woodwork and basically trying to demonize us for liking certain stuff, even though they have the power to make choices of, hey, this isn't for me. Let me just go about my day and do this. Will I complain? Yeah, they can complain. That's fine. They can. But it's like they really need to push us and saying like, well, you don't deserve this because this is perversion, or this is lustful intent, or this this is unrealistic, this is how you view women, whatever. The usual suspects saying that stuff on both sides, left and right, or woke, non-woke, or anti-woke, whatever. When it comes down to, again, the freedom of expression, art is subjective. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. We're not going to be playing this whole moral high ground game with religion. with God and Jesus, no. And this isn't like, oh, I don't like, I don't care about God, or no, not at all. That's not where I'm coming from. What I'm coming from is that I'm tired of people trying to weaponize our creative efforts against us, and trying to make us feel shameful when we're trying to tell a story. Now, yes, there are some people who just do it, create stuff just to, because they're shameless. But that, again, that's they're in their I'm sorry, that's in their right. Man, I cannot speak today. And it's for their niche audience. Not everything has to be family friendly. Not everything has to be, oh, let's keep it safe for work. Have we all forgotten what Disney has put in their old movies and shows? What they're putting in now? And that's not me trying to pass the, blame our people, but I'm just gonna have to go this route when talking about this stuff, because we can't be doing this whole, oh, we're gonna be looking at one thing, but then we're not gonna look at the other thing because we're gonna turn our backs away from it and pretend it doesn't exist. And this is nothing new. Again, this feels like when people saw that our side was winning, and what I mean by our side is winning, I mean like the people who actually believe in the freedom of expression, when they saw that we were winning and fighting back against these censorious dogs. You have these people coming in. I'm not saying Melonie Mac's a grifter or anything, but it does sometimes. I'm a little suspicious. But you have people that come in, infiltrate, and say, "Oh, I'm one of you guys," and then later down the line they say, "Hey, this is bad because yada yada yada." We've seen this too many times with entertainment when it comes down to video games, as in, we used to have great video games. Now we don't, because they're full of propaganda, usually full of propaganda, mainstream wise, I mean. Or it comes to our hobbies like D&D, other hobbies like D&D, or certain card games and whatever else, anime. I don't understand why people like this always try to change and force us to change to their whims. And they claim that, oh, we don't care that about this and that, as long as you're not forcing your perversion on us. And we're like, we're not even forcing it. It's literally called a niche. It's not mainstream. But I digress. Anyway, so before I get into that other topic with another person, sorry, I also have this right here. Okay, here we go. Now, with Melonie being, liking, being a Christian and all, everything, I found some posts from like back then, maybe even a few months ago, and this one was from 2020, and she's responding to a retweeted post of people saying, my fantastic fabulous friend and blank, or castmate, whatever. And another one, I think this is a woman saying, "Yep, my husband is 10 years younger than me, married 13 years and counting." And here's Melonie saying, "Yes, my husband is 6 years younger than me, and we're happy too." This is back in 2020. Again, I'm keeping this within the topic of censorship because we're dealing with hypocrites. We are dealing with a lot of hypocrites within when they try to censor us. So here's another example I have right here for that. And it's leading to somewhere, I promise. But you also have her saying, hey, what are, someone's quoting like, what are your career goals? And she says, get a husband or keep trolling on the internet or both. I have no idea. So this is, and here's the thing, is this, I know she's been consistent over years, but is this also elaborate? And I'm not saying she's that smart, but I'm saying she's smart enough to, say like, hey, just keep trolling or whatever. And it's just, okay, whatever. But then it's like, what happened though? You had a husband, and this is from 2024. This post is from 2024, I believe. And it's like, what happened? Where's your husband? And then I found this. Now, yes, this is me getting a little personal here. I will admit that. But again, if a person is gonna be doing this whole moral high ground stuff, then I'm gonna have to try and even the playing field. Again, not doing anything illegal. This is all public. You can literally look it up. Melonie, within 2023, I believe, this says, I'm told to be submissive to my husband only. I have no husband. I'm told not to practice authority over a man in church. I don't. Learn to research. Now, I don't know who she was talking to, but I found this particularly interesting because, one, it says, I'm told to be submissive to my husband only. I have no husband. So that makes me wonder, okay, so what happened with the marriage? Why did it end in divorce? Now, there's for legit reason, which I'm not really trying to go too much into personal life. Then it's like, okay, something wrong happened. Either it's on her side or the guy's side or it's both sides. But then she also says this, I'm told not to practice authority over a man in church. I don't. And it's hard to believe. It's very hard to believe. Sorry. I'm getting a little thirsty here. Throat's dry. Again, I'm just trying to get to the bottom of, like, well, not to the bottom, but I'm putting up here examples of you used to be married, now you're not, but you're saying all this stuff where I, be submissive to my husband only, and I have no, well, basically saying you're no longer married. So why should people listen to her, to Melonie, about perversion and lustful intent and good looking characters, sexy characters, nude characters, whatever? Why, when this lady can't keep a marriage? This isn't me hating on her. This is me just trying to point out stuff that's, again, when it comes to these people or entities that are trying to censor us, it's always good to look through some history to find evidence and try to, and basically, again, level the playing field with them. And as for more Melonie news, I put down my little notes that within my first bullet point, within the first video, within her Ragnarøkkr video, a majority of these are from her Ragnarøkkr video, by the way. The first bullet point or quote I have is, don't want perversion in our media. Okay, what is our media? Media is media. People can put anything on the news. We've seen that. We've seen that countless times. We've seen that on newspaper. I guess newspaper. Sorry. You've seen that with games as well. You've seen that with shows. So, what do you mean by our media? You mean your media, ma'am? Like, I help me understand that, clarify that, because I was listening to that video and I was, again, writing down the quotes, or typing down the quotes that you made. 80% clothed. Again, this is from the gate video, and how she's saying that was explaining that how people use that argument to say, oh hey, she's 80% clothed, it's fine and all this, and then she's saying no and this, but yet she's talking about how costumes are are fitted, and it's okay, they're used in a good way, and heck, even with Stellar Blade, and which I would beg to differ that some attires were not 80% clothed. It was less than 80%. But anyway, I digress. That then she says, my only experience with this game, as in the First Descendant, because that's what sparked it. She was talking about the First Descendant video game. Is that my only experience with the game is people posting cleavage shots. Okay, and you just admitted it. She just admitted it too, right there. That her only experience with that game is cleavage shots, and the butt, and seeing the buttocks and whatever else from people, what people post. But she never played the game. Again, she did say, oh, we have the right to complain. Yeah, you can complain. But here's what, this is what's getting people just giving you the side eye, is that you sound like these game journalists. You sound like these people who want to censor stuff that they enjoy. And I played the First Descendant. Now, I only did probably like close to an hour, but I played as a male character, and I was like, okay, this is a nice looter shooter, but it's not for me. It's not for me because it just reminds me of Destiny, but better. I just can't get into it. I'm not really into looter shooters like that anymore. Not anymore, but it's like, how can you give people or the community of that game a fair shot when you're not even, when you admitted that your only experience with the game is people just posting those clips of their character. Then she proceeds to say, read the Bible and seek Jesus, which is pretty hysterical to me because as we all know, if you do know, Melonie Mag has, let's just say, she has a meme going on, and that she started herself as well, where she uses the F slur for gay people, and it's like, I'm pretty sure Jesus and God would not condone that, of you saying stuff like that to people, or just anyway. Then she also says with this, I don't want it in my entertainment because it's shameful and hurts society. Again, her opinion. But again, this is something that she's trying again to ham fist into a reality, like, hey, this does not need to be in here because I don't agree with it. Again, sounds like the SJWs to me. And she even made a point about how there, certain spaces of anti-woke actually agree with woke on things like perversion and all this. About how some, female characters being portrayed as, which again is, you're working with the enemy, even though you're supposed to be against them. What a mess. This is hypocritical. It's very hypocritical. It's just a mess, man. Then, this was the most damning evidence right here. And I quote from Melonie Mac. Do I think that people who participate in those activities are losers? Yes. She's calling people who play not only just the First Descendant, but Silver Blade, Nier Automata, Dead or Alive, anything with it, losers. Just because they like attractive characters that have a little bit of clothing on, or they're showing just a little too much, just a little. You're all losers. People who create stuff that feature nudity and all that, they're losers. Even though they can be, that's how they make their money. They're losers. it's just it's this is just tiring to me. Sorry if I kind of lost a little bit of my energy, but it really is just tiring dealing with people like this on a yearly basis when they try to have this higher than thou attitude, but then they can't keep, they're flawed and they try to make it seem like, oh, it's no big deal or whatever, but yet they constantly keep talking about that flaw or something. It's odd, or it's to protect their image, their brand, their name, even though that's not what people think of at all, and they're just bringing attention onto themselves with that. They're the ones that are making a big deal of it. And this is from a video where this last quote I'm about to say from her. This is from a video with the Stellar Blade, Sony censors Stellar Blade, and she says this: "If you don't want to buy the game, don't buy the game." Perfect. That's applicable. If you don't want to see it, then you don't have to see it. You can have. There's a reason why we have filters. Maybe you should stop following the people who post that stuff, Melonie. And that brings into question: who are you following that post that stuff in the first place? You see, that's what keeps it even more suspect for me. Is that you're literally raging about pixels and how you're trying to say that when you compare the people from First Descendant to the LGBT propaganda, because they need validation, when it's not even like that. Again, you do have some weirdos on that side who want to see get attention and all this and that. You do. That's you're always gonna have that. But for a majority, it's not seeking validation. It's not seeking stuff like that. Like, oh, please notice us. No. It's just, hey, this is what we make. This is what we like. If people if people find I'm sorry, that sounds weird. But if people find, what we make and they like it and they enjoy it, hey, that's just how it is. Yeah, of course. I mean, it's normal for creators to try and market their things. That's normal because you need funding. But I guess they're losers, right? Even though they could be employing other people, giving them, signing their checks. But they're losers, right? I will even say this too. Maybe this has been a long while. Maybe like beginning of 2024, maybe. But she also cheered when a church burnt down because it was associated with pride. And yeah, I know I do disagree with stuff like that being in Christian churches, Christian churches and all that. I do. It's not out of hate or anything. It's just that, look, that's not what that stuff doesn't go hand to hand. Just like how Islam doesn't go hand to hand with Christianity. It doesn't. But I would never cheer about a church being burnt down because it was associated with pride. Maybe they need to change the leadership. Maybe that needs to. That's something that starts within. That's kind of redundant, really. Cheering a sacred place of worship. Man, I don't know, man. It's just, again, that's it. That's it with Melonie right there. I'm done talking about her. I used to be a subscriber, and I can't. I can't with her. I stopped. There's a reason why I stopped a few years back. But going to other things with other people, have this little thing, conversation I found yesterday where this guy's like, hey, fellas, is it gay to enjoy looking at this? And it's just, you see a sexy character. I mean, hey, good legs, good physique, great face, hairstyle, and everything. And we got this guy named John Dell. Now, don't harass these people. Please don't. But you got this guy saying, they're not, you're just addicted to porn, so you can get mad when someone says this game sucks because it's gay. And it's just like, this just makes no sense. These are the same type of people that are coming out of the woodwork because they don't agree with creative expression. And and I'm just gonna read some of the comments where, and I didn't read. I'll be honest, I didn't read this part, but what I did read was oh my gosh, I don't want to go down too far. But this is John saying, no, not necessarily, but it's definitely a sexual thing. The reason a grown man would be excited to play an exposed female character. How does exposed flesh make the character more interesting to play? As a gamer, I look for immersive storytelling, great mechanics, and longevity, which is fine. I look for that too. But let's be honest, we're visual creatures. We like what we see. Beauty's an eye of the beholder, and people, if a lot of people are into like, hey, look, this is what the game is based upon. This is how it works. And this is getting attention because so-and-so characters like this. There are people who like, for Street Fighter, for example, Street Fighter, you got a lot of people. There's characters that got a huge following with, like Chun-Li, Cammy. Who's the other girl? Junko? Stuff like that. Yeah, there's they have exposed flesh, and not like in the manner of where it's pornographic, but because they're fighters. They're fighters. But it doesn't make sense where they're, if they're all fully covered up, it doesn't make sense because it's a fighting game. That's what Mortal Kombat 11 tried to do, and look how that worked for them. It didn't do well. Yeah, it sold a lot of copies, but longevity wise, a lot of people say that it's probably the worst Mortal Kombat, and I agree. And that has nothing to do with exposed flesh and everything. It doesn't. And there's nothing sexual about it. But the thing is, applying this man's logic as a gamer, I look for immersive storytelling, great mechanics, and longevity. When a game struggles with those three core mechanics, it's not going to do well. Even if it does have sexy characters, both male and female, it will only last so long. And then going on with this, says just tells me that you're desperate for some female interaction. Understand that teenage boys might be interested in playing this character, but as a grown man, it's cringe. Get a GF, bro. Again, it has nothing to do with that. It goes right over people's heads. It goes over these type of people's head, where again, they're trying to do the shaming and trying to call us out and dehumanize us and demean us and say, oh, well, you're just basically what he's trying to say is that you're a virgin and you need to get laid. No, again, why can't people simply just enjoy what they enjoy without people like that coming in, barging in and trying to take stuff from us? This is it's so odd, dude, how these people get so just bent out of shape. And then for the last one, maybe this is the last one. And then with this, this was brought to my attention because of a friend, Neff showed this to me. But this is weird. Again, don't harass anyone about this. But John Dale Eras says Christians will not be bullied. I hope I pronounced that right, but I more than likely didn't. Christians will not be bullied out of gaming. Do you think a few words on the internet are going to stop a people whose leader was tortured and put on a cross for standing up for the truth? You picked a fight with the wrong people. We have convictions we will die for. You don't. No, then see, there we go. We're getting to the fanatical side of all this. No. Again, this all started because companies and people like Mr. Eras or Eras. Again, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to mess that up, but I'm doing a terrible job of that. But they're coming into our little niche space, not the whole thing, but I mean the little section where we do have sexy characters or whatever as they want to say, and saying, hey, you need to get out and you need to start reading the Bible because you're perverts, you're losers, you guys have you guys are just mental for liking this stuff, and you need to go get a girlfriend. When it's like, dude, nobody was pushing this on you. No one was trying to force you into this. It's really just these type of people coming into someone's space, someone's territory, and just starting stuff just because. And we're not trying to bully, well, the people that I work with, the people I know. We're not bullying people out of gaming. Except for the weirdos. Because the weirdos are the type they're trying to bully. They come to us. We defend ourselves. And this is what Mr. Eras is doing, is that he's coming after people who are not bullying. He's the one being the bully. And people are responding. He's the action, they're the reaction. I mean, it's not rocket science, dude. And then of course you got Melonie Matt come in with the amen, and and they're fine. I don't mind Christians. I believe in Jesus. I believe in God, but again, this is stuff that I will not stand for. We have a basic right to express ourselves freely. And then for the last one. This is from Grums. Now, what you feel about Grums, like I'm gonna hate them, has nothing to do with me. So, with this, I just found this an hour ago, actually, maybe two. Grum says, Code Violet would not be on PC because devs do not want vulgar mods. As he quotes, hold our voice actresses with high regard as well as our artistic vision. Now, I never heard of Code Violet. I guess the announcement trailer is I guess that was a few days ago. Okay, this is the first time hearing about it. Anyway, so this is the game, and Team Kill Media. For those asking us about a PC version of Code Violet, the reason we are not bringing it to PC is we do not want anyone modding vulgar versions of the main character as well as our characters in the game. We hold our voice actresses and actors with high regard as well as our artistic vision for the game and story, and reject any form of destroying that with sexual mods, making a joke out of our art and possibly tarnishing the reputation of our voice actresses and actors is not worth the extra money we can make. Okay, here's the thing. I understand where they're coming from because I work with people who have boundaries as well when it comes to nudity and all that. I get that. But here's the thing. It's gonna happen anyway. This is 2025. people can literally just go on the Blender and make the models themselves and do whatever. This isn't really, again, doing this whole high moral ground stuff. I know that, I respect where they're coming from, but this isn't the right way to go. And you guys bringing attention to this, stop bringing attention to it. You're going to cause a Streisand effect. Now that you're saying this, people are going to be like, okay, well, whatever, we're going to find a way, and we usually do. And what are you going to do? I mean, have we not learned from Overwatch what Overwatch was trying to do? Well, with what Blizzard developers were trying to do with the mods and and specific animations. Let's just say. Again, I get where they're coming from, but if you're gonna handicap yourself like this, and this is not good for a game that's coming out, I assume this year. Again, it's my first time hearing about this game, but it's not good. If you're thinking like that and you're saying, well, we're going to neglect these I'm sorry, I cannot speak, these potential customers because we don't want vulgar mods. Like, grow up, dude. Please, companies, grow up. Seriously, y'all, grow up. It's going to happen. If it exists, there's already porn of it. Regardless if it's mods, drawings, animation, whatever. It's going to happen. That's humanity. That's just gonna, I don't know how to put it. But dude, this stuff is just, this stuff is, gosh, this stuff gets on my nerves, dude. It's not hurting anyone. Let me just say that. It's not hurting anyone. It's not physically hurting anyone. But they treat it as like that. For y'all sticking around so long with this video, I thank y'all so much. Again, I try my best with trying to keep it within the topic, trying to have my points help have me, help guide me on that. It's my first time doing something like this, really, with a script, you can say. But uh, I'll get better. I'll get better the more I use it, and I'm learning. But this is just all nonsense, in my opinion. And hopefully, y'all agree. And if you don't, that's fine as well. Put your opinions down in the comments. We're not going to force it on people, unlike certain individuals that I just showed, or companies or entities. If you're really a believer within within the freedom of expression, this wouldn't be a problem. All this just because characters are showing skin. Really. And the hypocrites come out and try to weaponize that against us to make us feel like bad people, even though we done nothing bad other than just create, again, sexy characters. This is why I do the things that I do. It's something I'm interested in, but I like storytelling. I like mature storytelling, as in, if mainstream media allows Game of Thrones stuff, then what's stopping me from making my own type of stuff? Now, granted, it's not like Game of Thrones, but it has sex scenes, it has nudity, it has gore, violence, all that. I am vanilla. I am very vanilla when it comes to that stuff, compared to some, some works of works of art that have that stuff, and they just are very detailed. But seriously, though, this is all so infuriating. And again, I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself but it really is. This is stuff that You think these people would learn the from the previous times of when clashes like that happen, but they don't. They just keep barging in and trying to force us what we can buy, what we can't buy, what we should do, what we shouldn't, what we should like, what we shouldn't, etc., etc., etc. You know, I've been told that adults can make decisions, can make their own decisions, but it's apparent to me that I'm not gonna say a lot of people, but there are people out there who don't believe in such thing, and that adults should be monitored like children. Even when it comes to own ratings, the M ratings, the R ratings, it's like, oh, even though this is, mature because it's for adults, we still have to not show things because reasons. I hope this stuff just blows away, and it's so redundant. What a waste of time. What a waste of space. Waste of energy. Just waste of everything. But, gotta keep pushing back against this stuff because these guys are the actual bullies. They won't stop until we're good little boys and girls that obey what they want, even though they're flawed themselves. They're hypocrites, which is worse, I argue. And even Jesus said, he prefers a man who has flaws than and is trying his best to repent than those who try to act superior in morality. Again, I'm not a Christian, but I do believe in Jesus and God, and these people make me seem like I'm more of a Christian than they are. I don't know, dude. Odd times. But if you like the video, give it thumbs up or thumbs down, share, subscribe, whichever floats your boat. The power is in the palm of your hands. That I bid you adieu. Ciao.